home brew.
We're basically conducting an enormous experiment on our children.
Marketplace tests home cleaning products.
Here they're saying to spray where kids are, to use routinely. Is that a good idea?
Well, that's something that the parents should think about.
Hi, welcome to Marketplace. I'm Erica Johnson in Vancouver. We seem to be a society obsessed with keeping our homes clean. We want our bathrooms and our kitchens hospital-grade disinfected. Cleaning products promise miracles, faster, easier, better results, less scrubbing. But could it be our clean freak streak is actually harming our kids? Here's Wendy Mesley with the story.
In the past year, I found that I was getting really stuffed up and I developed bronchitis. It doesn't seem to be getting better. It just seems to be getting worse. So I want to try and find out what's going on.
Amanda Saul has severe respiratory problems. 5 weeks ago, she was rushed to the hospital because she couldn't breathe.
I called Sean because I was having a lot of problems breathing-wise. And I wasn't sure if it had to do with the house, with the molds and stuff, or if it had to do with the quality of the house, or maybe even our cleaning products.
Her oldest son, Kieran, is 3 years old. Like so many kids these days, he suffers from allergies, eczema, and recently, asthma. So Amanda turned to Ellis, a toxicologist who's begun marketing his services to anxious homeowners. Sean tests the air in people's homes, looking to see how many chemicals or other particulate matter may be floating there.
Some of my clients using cleaners, especially if it's a combination of cleaners, can actually make them dizzy or have headaches.
What he's talking about are cleaning products, like the ones Amanda and her husband use every day. Many of them contain chemicals.
I think the majority of the awareness of cleaning products in people's homes are that a cleaning product is natural and safe. I don't think people consider cleaning products chemicals.
And this young family likes their cleaners as much as anyone else.
Open wide. In your mouth, not on the floor.
Speaking of seductive, check out the advertising. The Come On to Parents is full of babies and young children looking adorable and oh so vulnerable. It's a parent's job to keep them free from germs. So, say the ads, spray that change table with Lysol, clean that high chair with disinfecting wipes, and don't forget to mop those floors before putting baby down to play.
Lysol spray kills 99.9% of germs.
What do you think when you see that?
I find it very troubling that those kinds of chemicals are being sprayed in a child's crib. I think it's unnecessary, and I worry about the long-term toxicity.
Cooper says there's a lot we don't know about the chemicals in our cleaners because companies are not required to tell us. Ever look at the label of your favorite floor cleaner or furniture polish? There's not much on it. That's because companies are protected by trade secrets. If you do find an ingredient, it's there because it could blow up or poison you. Many other chemicals are not even listed.
If you had the kind of labeling laws, for instance, they have in Europe, where it would tell you that this product contains something that may cause cancer, for example, and another similar product that does the same job doesn't, you might not buy the product that contains the carcinogen. If you didn't, then the market would determine what manufacturers put in their products.
We're basically conducting an enormous experiment on our children and our children's children.
Sean Ellis is testing the air in parts of the house where cleaners are stored.
You can always smell those cleaners even though they're all tightly sealed.
Sure enough, everywhere the cleaning products are kept, the readings jump. We asked Sean to test 3 of the products we saw in the commercials. The average home normally reads about 50 parts per billion. Let's see what happens with the Pledge, 273 parts per billion. According to Sean, anything over 500 could be a problem for sensitive people. What about Clorox wipes?
So again, a simple wipe, and the levels jump up from the hundreds into the thousands here.
And finally, the Lysol disinfecting spray.
We're now in the parts per million as opposed to the parts per billion. So you're looking at about 12,000.
That's about 1,000 times higher than the Clorox.
I'm cleaning the counters, but am I doing something opposite where I'm affecting my kids' respiratory problems?
We live in an increasingly chemical society. Experts don't know how dangerous these chemicals might be, but they are starting to worry. Respiratory illness is the leading cause of admission to hospital for children. Childhood asthma has jumped 400% over the last 20 years. And after injuries, cancer is now the leading cause of death among children aged 5 to 9.
There's increasing evidence of links between those kinds of chronic health effects in children and a certain range of chemicals in our environment.
Can you smell?
Yeah. So we went to see a chemist, Dr. Virginia Solares. She's an indoor air quality expert. And we asked her, what's in some of these products being marketed to young families? This is one product we're looking at, Lysol Antibacterial Action. It does actually list ingredients, ethanol, 79%. And not just any ethanol, says Solares, it's denatured ethanol. She's put together a book for us full of data sheets which lists the hazards of specific chemicals in the workplace. Again, there's nothing like this available on the effect of these chemicals when used in the home. Here's what Solares discovered about denatured ethanol.
May cause irritation of eyes and mucous membranes, may cause central nervous system depression if inhaled or ingested.
So, we now know everything that's in the Lysol, do you think? No, there's more? Yep, says Solares. There's also alkyl dimethyl benzyl ammonium chloride.
This is a class of compounds that act as a disinfectant or biocide.
Which means it's a pesticide.
It's harmful by inhalation, ingestion, and through skin contact.
So we've learned that in this can, there are products that can cause skin irritation or irritation to the lung, even neurological implications. And yet here they're saying to, spray where kids are, to use it every day or at least use routinely. Is that a good idea?
Well, that's something that the parents should think about. Do they want to spray the air that people are breathing, or the kids, the toys or surfaces that the children are touching? Do they want them sprayed?
Okay, now this is Clorox disinfecting wipes. It says to wipe surfaces throughout the house, kitchen and bathroom. Playpens.
It lists two products, dimethylbenzyl ammonium chloride and dimethylethylbenzyl ammonium chloride.
Again, like in the Lysol, more pesticides with possible harmful effects.
If you find that it has an ingredient which is a chemical, you can't even pronounce it, you don't know what it is, you don't know how it can affect you, I think it's about time you think, should I be using this?
Now here is another product. This is Pledge. There's no ingredients listed at all. Again, Dr. Solares has done her homework.
It has silicones and it has butane gas.
Like in a lighter?
Butane, yes, and propane.
Like in the barbecue?
Exactly.
So what do they do, butane and propane?
May be harmful if inhaled. Eye irritant and narcotic, meaning it can affect the brain.
And then there's the glass cleaners. What's in them?
Some of them have what are called glycol ethers. There's concern over these products because for workers who are exposed occupationally, they've been seeing some reproductive effects, and so in the semiconductor industry, they're being phased out.
What about all the laundry detergents and fabric softeners? I think people assume that they're safe. Is there any cause for concern with chemicals in those?
You'd be amazed at the number of chemicals that are used in detergents. They have chemicals to prevent the dirt from sticking back onto the clothing. They've got chemicals to oxidize, and of course you've got the perfumes. You may not be rinsing away all of those chemicals.
What kind of exposure do you need to those chemicals before it's harmful?
We don't really know.
But we know at some level it can be harmful.
That's right.
So Amanda Saul has decided to cut down on the chemicals in her home. But she'll have to figure it out on her own. For the time being, at least, the government and manufacturers are under no obligation to help her.